office, and I have taken the post to the post office, and I'm going back the long way so that I can enjoy my bike ride. Come on my own, and I've just decided to stop and sit on the seat and have a lovely rest on this grassy area. And just down there behind those trees is the River Tees. You can't see it because there's so much greenery. The river, and on the other side of the river is Yorkshire. This is County Durham, that's Yorkshire. Good morning. It's actually almost midday, but yeah, kind of morning come afternoon. We're headed down to the airport because I have got a package that is coming, and I accidentally ordered it to be sent to work, and we're not at work, so I've got to ask them to re-deliver back to the depot, and the depot is at the airport, and then we're going to go back home.
No, we're not.
I thought where we're going.
We're going to look at a container.
Oh, then we're going to go and look at a container.
Just because we like looking at containers.
Because he likes looking at containers.
It's a hobby.
Yes.
We sit and
He
look
has a hobby of looking at containers.
and admire their
I'll have to
sleek
get one of these
lines.
stands to hold this phone, stop it from wobbling.
Well, you see, you're getting old now, you shake a
Getting
lot.
old, I've got shakes. No, it's the road. We've got a bumpy road here, so that's why. Anyway, it's the usual. It's the trip. It's the circuit. Is the circuit that we usually do when we go for a walk around the airport, and well, it's on the return circuit. Let's see. Are you going straight down here? He says, "Shut up."
Yeah, shut up.
Shut
You're
up.
gibbering.
He says, "I'm gibbering." Why aren't you going down there?
Because we're going to TNT to pick your wheelie up.
You're not supposed to tell them what it is,
Oh, why?
because then I can open the package and then let them see what it is.
All right, sorry, girls.
And men. There might be a man watching.
Oh, there might be. There might be. Well, they'll understand.
We would have either walked down or come on our bicycles, but he needs padded bottom on his bicycle. I'm enjoying cycling on my bike, but he says it hurts his bottom. So
it's torture.
So we're going to have to treat him to a jelly bike seat. Anyway, he's going to get the box. I have in my little sewing room, my chair is a Cajun drum, and when I'm moving from one sewing machine to the serger, I get frustrated because it's so heavy and I've got to keep lifting it up. I've got to put my hand through. Well, it is. I've got to drag it across. So I said to him, "Have we got any casters? Can I order some casters to put on the bottom?"
Not on my Cajun.
And that's what he said. He says, "Not on my Cajun drum." And I said, "Well, if I had casters, I could move it easily, stay sat on it, and move it easy instead of having to get up and drag it across." So he wasn't having any. So I ordered. I said, "Right, okay, then I'll order a little stool with casters." So I've ordered one, and this is what it's come in the box like. Tell your viewers the saga of the bread.
You all know about my prowess at baking, which extended eventually to making bread. So I bought a bread mix from Tesco's, and on the side, which I thought nothing of when I read it, it just said crusty loaf. So I did the mix like you do, which was dead easy. Only difference was I put milk in instead of water, because I figured it would make the bread taste a bit sweeter and be softer. Remember that line. And so I baked it, and when the dough was ready, when it had all sort of risen and stuff, instead of making a loaf, I decided I would make 4 bread buns. Right, so I did that, and I put them in the oven. Oven slightly overran, I have to say, but not too much.
Lovely crusty buns came out.
Lovely crusty buns came out.
Like French buns.
They reminded me, because they were quite dark brownish, not dark brown, but sort of mid-brown. And they reminded me of pebbles from the beach. Anyway, we'll let them cool on the cooling tray, because I bought a cooling tray now, because I've been a professional. And so I put them on the cooling tray and let them cool. Once they'd cooled, I picked one up and it was like armour plated. Right? It was rock solid. I banged it on the top of the work surface, almost broke the work surface. Right? So I thought, oh no, as you do. And so I thought, right, well, we better try and get inside and see what it's like inside. So I got the bread knife out and I hacked my way through it. Well, actually, went through quite nicely. Opened it up, and inside the bread,
it was beautiful.
Not only smelled lovely, looked beautiful,
Soft,
and it was soft and springy. It was lovely. So we decided, crusty loaf, right? Doesn't matter. We'll have lunch. So buttered the bread, put my covering of choice on it, and went and sat down to watch A Place in the Sun.
As you do.
Which is our habit, whilst eating lunch. I took a bite and there was a ping, sounded loud. I thought somebody had shot a rifle off or something. And out of my mouth flew this thing, almost in slow motion, it seemed. The result
we have to say it didn't break, it was a bridge tooth, wasn't it?
It was a bridge, and it was a bridge too far. So then I rang the dentist, who of course are closed, and said, "Are you in pain?" I said, "No, I haven't stopped laughing since it came out." What do you think? So I've got to go in July to get it all fixed.
The earliest it could fit you in was the 20th of July.
So now...
And they rang you this morning, didn't they, to see whether you were in pain?
They've been dead fussy. I have to say, they rang me the other day and I missed the call, and they rang me today and they said, "Are you all right? And you're not in any pain?" And they were very, very caring. I was very impressed.
So we'll have to put up with this gap in your mouth for at least...
Yeah, looking round for...
5 weeks.
Possibly, yeah, for another 5 weeks. So looking around for a pirate suit, basically.
Pirate suit.
And a suitable galleon for me to pose on. Arr, Jim lad. Oh.
This is the box that we got from TNT. We've been and had a look at the container. We'll tell you all about that later on. And he immediately said, "I don't think it's what you've ordered." So we checked.
No, look.
I can't show the address on there. You're not supposed to show addresses.
Right.
But it says, on the label, it says that it's what it is.
It's unusual, isn't it, for people who do sewing, not to be able to show address.
Oh, God. Oh, dad jokes. And he said it's a dresser mirror with block and stool. And I said, no, it's just that bit. So on the label it actually said stool only. So it's a block box with casters on and a cushion on the top, and you can put things inside there.
Oh, lovely.
I'll find something to put in there, I'm sure I will.
Lovely.
So his lordship is going to unpack it.
I have to say, I wasn't being really mean about the occasion, saying you can't put casters on it, but it's an acoustic instrument. And if you put casters on and screws in...
Well, there's feet screwed onto the bottom anyway.
Well, yeah, feet with little screws. Casters, you need strong screws.
Well. So I just said, "Oh, up yours, I shall go and get my own."
Well, yeah.
And then you can go and take that up to your room. Of course, this is a self-assembly one. So let's see what it...
It's black.
Yeah, I wanted black. I figured it won't show the dirt as much.
Our girl's here. Another delivery.
Is she coming to us?
I reckon so.
Got a delivery coming.
Yeah. I'll go and get it. It is.
So anyway, we'll come back when it's assembled. Well, here is my new little stool on wheels, and it's got a little space in there. I'm not sure what for. Got a little chip on the corner there, but to be honest, it cost, yeah, it's a little piece that's come off there, but this means that I can move from my machine to my serger, and I can just slide from side to side like that, backwards and forwards. You can see there I am with my little iPad, so I can watch vlogs, and it makes life a lot easier. And because it's a stool, apparently it's better for your back because you're not leaning against anything. Hi everybody, it's Micheline from Micheline Makes again, and it's 10 to 9, and it's Monday, June the 8th, possibly June the 8th, Monday, June the 8th. The purple hair, one wash and it started to disappear, so this is purple chalk that I've put on my hair just to make it look a bit more standy outish. I like it, very nice. And I've got this lilac top on, underneath which I have my purple dress. I don't know if you can see, purple dress. I think the light is, I've got the sunshine, it's sunsetting in the distance, and I think it's starting to, it's making everything glow a bit, so if it makes me look younger, I don't mind. Anyway, I'm not sure how long my phone's going to last because I've had to charge it up and my other camera battery is needing charging, but I thought I would update you on some things. First of all, in the UK, quite a lot of places are asking you, we're going to be told to wear masks. Not going to do a masks vlog, just wanted to show you the ones that I've made. And the ones that I've made, there are several styles that I've made, and I thought you might like to see them. One, my son's asked me to do another two. He teaches in a high school, and he's quite adamant. He's a touch OCD for cleanliness, and does not fancy having people going around with this coronavirus. And that is nothing to do with me. It comes from the other side of the family. But the first one I've done several for him, but I've tried two new ones. And this one is, let me just get, the knots are in the wrong place. I haven't pulled them through yet. I'll tell you what, I'll go and get the patterns because I can't remember what they are. Hang on. How do I pause this? Right, this one, it's I found that the chin it needs a dart in, so I've had to put a dart in. It's not finished on the dart, but this one is the Olsen, and I have a little piece of aluminium there that bends it round to the nose. This one is the Olsen one. Goes round your ears. That one is this one that was recommended by someone who did a vlog and said it was a very good one. I think it's the one that quite a lot of hospitals recommend, the Olsen one. And I downloaded that free pattern. It was Unity Point Health, and I like that one. That one's quite good. It's got a dart at the top, and I've put a little piece of metal there, a little piece of aluminium. You can, if you want a piece of aluminium and you haven't got one, if you drink aluminium like Coke cans, cut up a piece of aluminium from the actual shape, bend it in half to give it a bit more strength, and then you put it in there. And I've basically bent it there. This is quite rigid. It's in the shape of the across here, the brow of the nose, and it's got a bottom part here. But as I say, I think it needs a dart there because it's a bit too. I feel you've got to have it so that it's quite tight to stop any air from getting in, and so I felt that was dangling down, and I felt that it needed to go a bit tighter. So that one, yes, I like that. I've made him a couple of those. I think this is the Olsen one as well, and this was the smaller size. It has the panel there. I didn't need a dart in that one, and I've got the rigid piece of aluminium there. Again, this one has to go under the chin. That one fits better. It's got to be closed and you've got to try and stop any air from getting through. So that one I like. And then I came across yesterday the Mimi G one, which I've made for my son. He said, Mum, do some colours that are quite bland. And I've done this one. It was actually, I'm using whatever I've got spare, and I haven't got many bland colours, many kind of nondescript colours. So this is actually some suedette that I had, and it's a tanny, what colour would I call that? It's not tan, it's not dark brown, it's kind of a mid-brown. And on the other side is darker brown. I don't know if you can tell the difference, you can't really tell the difference. But Mimi does it differently. It's a lovely pattern. I've forgotten to put the metal in there, which I've done it all and then I thought, oh, haven't done it. But she does it so that the elastic is on like that. And basically you put it over your head. Let me see if I can do it. Goes round your neck, and then you bring it up there, and that one goes up on the top of your head. Hang on. The two go to the top of your head, but I find that elastic there, that's supposed to go up there. Supposed to go up there. Sorry, I've got so much hair. Oh dear me. It's supposed to go, I've got a piece sticking up there. Hang on. Do it again. Right, let's get that out of the way. Okay, so this piece is supposed to go over the top of your head there and go like that. But this comes down a bit sometimes. And I've made this for my son, and I don't know if he like having the elastic on the back of his head, so that might put him off. So it's not too bad. It needs some metal there. I'm going to have to put some metal in to bend it round, otherwise the virus can get down there. So that's that one. Mimi G's, yes, I like the shape. I like the fact that it's got a nice curve to it and it grips well. Not so sure about this bit though. Now this next one I came across, she's actually, I think it's South American. I can't understand a word she's saying, but she's designed this one. And this is hers. And this is for people with long hair. So what I'm going to do is not that I've got, my hair's not long enough to go into a ponytail, but I'll try it. And see if I can do it like this, because it needs to be in a ponytail. It's for people with long hair, I would have thought. So I put a ponytail in. Not a great ponytail. I mean, I've only got a little stump there. But this one has long ties. And I've got the little piece of metal there. That goes on there. And this goes round your ears here. And I've got no ears. Well, I've got ears, but I've got no lobes, which doesn't help. And then this tie goes up here, and you tie it like a little ribbon, like as if you're going to have a bow on the top, like that. So that's this one, and that goes around the top there, and like that. I like this one. I like the colour that I've done. But see, I have no ears. I have little lobes, very little on my ears. So it's making them stick out. And I would probably do it without that, like that. I'd do it like that and pull it a bit better, because I don't really need the holes for my ears. I'd have to make it tighter though. Hang on. Let's do it with where it's tighter. Do it again. I'm going to do it without going around my ears. So like that, up there, there. So I've got that gap there, but I'm really not bothered. As I say, it's basically for around the ears. It doesn't cover your chin very much there. God, I don't know if I'm going to be able to wear this. Oh dear me, my daughter just asked me to make her a couple because she says, Mum, she works in the office of a doctor's consultant surgery, and she says, Mum, we've got to start wearing masks. Whew. If you wear this in the middle of summer, you're going to be roasting. Anyway, so this one, as I say, like that, with a bow at the top. I thought that was quite a nice idea. And that one, I'll put a link below because she does have a pattern that you can download. So does Mimi Jean. I'll put a link below for that one and for the Olsen one. As I say, it's all down to you whether you want to wear that sort of thing. I haven't got that on. No, that's right. I'm made some for myself just in case, but whether I'll wear them or not, I mean, we're going to have to apparently. Certain places you go to, if you go on buses and trains, well, I'm not likely to be on a bus and a train, but there may come a time where I am, or if I'm going to a shop and they want you to wear masks. So I've got these masks. The last one, this one was by what are they called? The begins with a P, I think. I'll put the name up there because I can't remember. And this was both this one and these two have pockets in the back, so they take a little filter, and apparently you can put a coffee filter in, you know, the kind of filter that you use for making when you're filtering coffee. Put that in, and that holds the germs. The most important thing, and I'm sure you all know this, is you only wear this once when you're outside, and then when you come in it should be washed. Then get yourself another one, put that on when you go out, or if you're not going to wash it, don't wear it for 72 hours and then you can put it on. So this one is by I can't remember what they're called, but that's the same. That goes round your ears, and I like this one. This really feels like I've got a lot of protection as well, and I feel like Darth Vader. Anyway, so those are the masks that I've done, and I'm going to be making some more. This Pinero one, this is called, she's the one with the ties that ties around the back of your head. She is called Arte de Paninho. Arte de Paninho. Arte de Paninho. Paninho. And that's her her label on the thing. She has that and that, and you basically cut a piece that long. I think you can just get out a fat quarter, but A attaches to B, and then you have that bit, and that attaches to that. I think it goes that way, or does it go that way? I can't remember. I think it's that way. So this bit, because this bit is going to be the top of your ear, this bit's going to be the top of your ear, and that's going to be bottom, and so that one is going to go like that, and that's going to be on your nose. Now it also depends on how far your ear is from there, because your ear, if I put my ear there and I put that there, really that's not going to meet my nose, so probably you may have to make that a bit longer depending on the size of your face. I think that's where I've probably gone wrong. I probably should have extended that a bit more, but that is, I liked it. She does a little video where she explains how to do it. Again, it's all in Portuguese, but I'm sure you'll be able to pick that up and understand what she's saying. Turn the sound off and you can watch her as she goes. The other thing that I've done is, do you remember that little quilting square I had to do? Hello, sister dear. Now, I'm calling because before you get it wrong, don't put your little sun on the sea. You have to put it in your starry sky. Otherwise people think it's floating around in the water. But I'm sure you'll have noticed that. See you soon. Well, I finished it. And I'm quite proud of myself about it because the first time I've ever done this, and it's turned out really well. So this is what it looks like. Look at this. Can you see this? I've got the waves, the sun, and I did some rays, and then I happened to find some fabric that I'd bought from my grandson but never got around to making anything with a little boat on. So I took that and I sewed it, and then I found one of the companies that I bought on AliExpress sent me this sparkly stuff. So I thought, oh, I'll incorporate that into to make it look like the waves, and then carry on there. I put a piece there, and then I thought, oh, that actually looks like it's smoke coming out of the chimneys. And the actual bottom of the village, there's a road goes down, and then it splits. And in front of this used to be the post office, this one here, and that used to be what did that used to be? It used to be a family called Browns, because the village, the seaside, was a fishing village, and they were nearly all called Browns. There was quite a lot of them were fishermen. They were all called Browns, and so I thought I incorporated. I don't know if you can see. I incorporated the rainbow in there, and I just zigzagged down the middle to join two pieces together. This is two pieces of grey that I had, and then I did a zigzag for the chimney. And then each house, there's 3 houses here, and each one I put a heart on. The very end one is the ice cream shop. And my best friend, when I was a young girl, my best friend used to live there, and we both had horses, and we both used to go riding, and I used to love to go down to her house and get an ice cream from her shop. Used to like to go at the post office because they had so many things. They had stuff for people going to the beach. They had stuff for people going to the beach, like what do you call them, little spades and buckets and spades and things. But they had it was so full of stuff, because obviously I think they overbought, and over the years they seemed to get more and more and more. And so when you went in, it was like a little Aladdin's cave with all these things that they had. So I just thought, well, I'll incorporate that. Then since in recent years they've put an empty boat and they put flowers in. So I put some little flowers in there, and then you'll notice there's these squares there. Well, on the beach are these on part of the beach are these concrete squares. And they're actually remains from World War II, because what they did was they put lots of these concrete squares and they connected them with metal, big wires, and it was to stop any invasions onto the beach, because it was a good beach to invade, because ships could come close. So these concrete squares are scattered around. They've actually got, a lot of them have been buried by the sand. Sorry, I'm looking here, but I should be looking there, and so I ought to have that way. A lot of the squares are buried by the sand, and there's a little tale to tell you about this. When I was a young girl, 16, my sister went to America, and she went on what did you call it? She went to America, and it was on an American field service. It was called American Field Service. And she stayed with a family in Connecticut. Well, she was there for a year in Connecticut. And she basically, when she went, she had finished school in England, and she would have gone to university, but she took a year out and went to America and stayed with a family in Connecticut, and she attended the high school in Connecticut. And they had some kind of dance or evening or something where they had to where all of them got together, all these, because it wasn't just people from England, it was from all over the world came to America, and they had to wear the national costume. Well, England doesn't really have a national costume, and I suppose there's beefeaters and things, but at the time we were thinking, well, there's no national costume. So at that time, it was when the Beatles were on, when the Beatles, and there was Carnaby Street in London. And my mum and dad, for some reason, they went down to London, and my mum went to Carnaby Street, and she came across some aprons made of Union Jacks, and she figured, oh, that would be nice. I could get them made into a dress, and so that she'd have a Union Jack dress. So she got this Union Jack dress made, and funny enough, although my mum was a sewer, for some reason she got a dressmaker to do it. I had no idea why she did that. Probably because she was working with my dad at the time, and she was too busy in the shop trying to help him out. So she got this lady to do it, and somehow or other, before the actual dress was sent off to America for my sister, the newspaper caught a hold of it. And the next thing we knew, the newspaper wanted to do a spread on it, on this Union Jack dress. And I don't know how on earth, I think the local paper found out, and then from there it went to the national papers. And we have a paper called the Daily Mirror, and the next thing we knew, the Daily Mirror got in touch with us and said, can you tell us a story about your daughter wanting this dress? And so we thought, yeah, okay. And so they said, have you got anybody who would be able to model this? So then the next thing I knew, I was being asked to model it. And I was 16 at the time. And I thought, oh yeah, they're just going to come. I put this dress on, and I thought, they're just going to come, they're going to take a picture. But no, it was like a flipping modelling thing. They took me down to the beach and to all these blocks, and they made me stand on these blocks. And they were taking the picture from below up at me, and I thought it would be just two pictures, two click, and that was it. But they must have taken about 200 photographs, like you do when you're models, and they say, put your hands like that, do this, do that, look that, turn your shoulders, do this. First time I'd ever done that, and I thought, oh my goodness me. So the next thing I knew, I wasn't page 3, because page 3 of the Daily Mirror is the lady in the nude. But I think it was about page 5, and I think I've got a cutting, and I'll show you the cutting because it made me laugh. I was wearing dark tights as well at the time, and when it came out, I thought, oh, I shouldn't have worn those dark tights, because it was a white. I think it was white. The lady had put white sleeves in, and then there was this Union Jack front bit. So those little concrete blocks have a memory for me. I mean, there would be a lot of people who wouldn't bother with that, but I asked myself, what's the memory that you have? And I remember the post office, these two houses here, the Browns, the post office. I think it was a Brown that ran the post office, and I think it was a Brown that lived there. Addison Brown, he was called. And then there was my friend Carol Bell lived in there. The girl, this girl who I used to go around with, she went out with a boy who was the grandson of the people who were here. And so, they've got such fond memories. And then I thought, right, I'm going to put my name on, because I've lived in the village for so many years, and my dad has. And so I thought it would be quite nice to do that. And then I thought, oh, I'll do some gold on here. I don't know if you can see, I've zigzag gold there. These rays are gold. And what happened was, I looked up at my threads and I thought, oh, I need a yellow. And then I looked up and I thought, I've got that gold. And the gold thread I bought it 40 years ago, liking it but never having a knowledge of what to do with it. So 40 years later, I've done some little zigzags there in gold thread, so I'm quite pleased about it. Now my battery is going to run out here, and so I'm going to have to stop soon. But that's it. I would have preferred a little border, but I don't know what their intentions are. They may put their own borders around every one, so I didn't want to double up on it. So I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to post that to them. I'll bring it close for you to see everything. I could have straight stitched it. Will that focus a bit better? I could have straight stitched it, but my confidence on straight stitching wasn't. I tried some straight stitching and I thought, oh my golly, no, I can't do that. Have I got? Yeah, there's my attempted straight. That was my first attempt at going around a flower, And I thought that is not going to work. So in the end I thought, well, I'll zigzag, and I zigzagged, and I was quite pleased with it. It's everything that it's just a great memory for me. So and I'll put some pictures up as I've been doing this. I've probably got pictures that I'm going to show you that run alongside it to let you see what the different things are. Anyway, and this village, there's a bottom of the village, and then this road there's a top of the village. So the village starts at the top and then it goes down to the bottom. So these are at the bottom, and my mum and dad's house was at the top. And I used to go, when I was a girl, I used to go down on my scooter all the way down round here, go to the post office for mum and dad, and then I'd go to the ice cream shop on my little two-wheel scooter. And then I loved going down the hill, but I hated the fact that I had to go all the way back up because it was a heck of a steep hill. And probably, if I get a chance to, I will take you to Crestwell and let you see how nice a place it is. It's 60 miles up north, but I would love to take you and let you see. Anyway, my battery's going to run out, so I'm going to stop there, and I'll catch you next time.